So the studio Sucker Punch, they dropped a bit of they're calling it like a maintenance, an update, kind of like a statement piece over on their official website. And so we're going to go ahead and read this. I got to say, there's obviously something in here that has caused a little bit of, I don't want to say controversy, but just a lot of questions and a lot of concerns. Definitely a dagger to the heart for some, including myself. But let's go ahead and let's read this. So I'm going to read their whole little statement that they put out. It goes, as we approach 25 years since Sucker Punch first opened, we're proud to look back on the legacy of characters and stories we've created, from Rocket Robot on Wheels to Sly Cooper and Infamous, and most recently, Ghost of Tsushima. As our games continue to grow in scale and complexity, they require the full attention of our studio. With our focus on our current project, we have no plans to revisit Infamous or Sly Cooper right now. And no other studio is currently working on projects related to those franchises either. These characters are very special and near dear to our hearts, so while we'd never say never to reopening those doors down the road, for now there are no Infamous or Sly Cooper games in development. We know many people still play these games even today, so we'll be performing maintenance on Infamous 2 servers, soon to move them to a new home that will keep them up and running a bit longer. We will eventually need to sunset these, but want to keep them running for as long as possible for players who are still active. We're also working to put Cole's Legacy DLC for Infamous Second Son, which was previously only available as part of the Collector's Edition, on PlayStation Store in all territories for anyone who missed it. Thank you to everyone for an incredible 24 plus years of support. Your love and appreciation are what fuel us to keep us making new games, new worlds, and we look forward to continuing to bring new and exciting ideas to life for many years to come. We're not ready to talk about whatever might be next, but we hope you'll keep following us whenever we're ready to share more. Sucker Punch Productions. I'm going to go ahead and jump to what I want to say is the bigger part of what everybody's kind of taking away from this. And it is the part where they say, with our focus on our current project, we have no plans to revisit Infamous or Sly Cooper right now, with a heavy emphasis on right now. And they even went on to say no other studio is currently working on projects related to those franchises either. So again, that is the part where it is just the dagger to the heart for those of us, again, including myself, who is really excited for the potential Sly Cooper 5, right? Or maybe even the next Infamous game. And I think what kind of hits this to a lot of people is the fact that I think definitely this year, maybe a little bit last year, but definitely this year, I feel like earlier, there was lots of reports about a lot of these, insider leakers talking about how a Sly Cooper game was in development. And a lot of people were saying it was going to be like a sequel title. And so a lot of people, they complained that Sly Cooper kind of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, not a finished storyline. So it would make sense that would be happening. And that's what a lot of people wanted to see. And so the other part of that was also if Sucker Punch isn't working on it, what other studio could be working on a Sly Cooper game, right? Could it have been like a Blue Point or something? So this is now just putting the nail, right? And it's sealing the deal that we should not be expecting another Infamous or Sly Cooper. But I think what's most important is that they do say right now, which is a part that's like, okay, this is not definite. I've seen some takes online where people are like, oh, it's done. They're no longer making Infamous or Sly Cooper. That's in the past. We're going with Ghost of Tsushima, and that's where we're going. So I definitely want to reiterate that they pretty much said hey, just right now. I mean, to be fair, what does right now mean? I don't know. For all we know, this could be something that they don't actually touch these games until 5 years from now, maybe. I mean, that's also talking about how far Ghost of Tsushima goes. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was super successful. Obviously, if they're taking out Infamous or Sly Cooper, which is what which everybody was kind of putting their attention towards, it would make the most sense that their next big project would be Ghost of Tsushima 2. And I think there's obviously a lot of people who are supportive and who are excited, but there's definitely those of us, right, that just kind of want to see them go back, take a break from Ghost, go back and revisit maybe an older franchise like Infamous or Sly Cooper, especially kind of Infamous, as that has been more of the returning kind of franchise that keeps coming back with each iteration of a new generation of a PlayStation console, right? So we had the PlayStation 5, but it didn't obviously have an Infamous game to kind of drop with it, just like how the PlayStation 4 did. So it's kind of interesting to see like that those are just not coming, I guess, as of right now. So I guess the question that I want to pose and hopefully have a discussion down below with you guys is, how many of you are actually affected by this? Does a lot of you just maybe not even care as much? Are most people just excited for Ghost of Tsushima? Looking back at Ghost of Tsushima, right, that was a pretty big of a nice departure from what they've been kind of working on with like Infamous and Sly Cooper, almost kind of what you see back with like Naughty Dog, right, and like the Jak and Daxter series, and them going into like The Last of Us and how big that's going. I mean, we see the direction of where kind of PlayStation Studios is kind of heading, right, with these more realistic, different types of tones of the games, right, with like Last of Us, and then right Ghost of Tsushima with this one. And so just curious, people, I would love to see in the comment section down below your thoughts about it. Does this upset you? I mean, again, I've seen a lot of people be upset by it, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a video where we kind of read it, we kind of talk about it a little bit. I said I was definitely affected by this because I definitely do miss an Infamous or a Sly Cooper game, especially Sly Cooper. I'm much into the point where I kind of miss a little bit of old PlayStation, and I kind of would like to see some older franchises come back a bit. I've been saying for the longest time I would love to see another Jak and Daxter game or some type of even remake, even if it's not the main studio heading it, right? Same thing with this here, right? Even if it's not Sucker Punch doing Infamous or Sly Cooper, but maybe they are passing it to Bluepoint or something, which we know like Bluepoint is working on a couple of games too. So now that, again, this knocks out the picture, it does kind of make me go, oh man, I wish I could look forward to that. And the question is like, how long till we get another one of these? Or is it that maybe these are just sitting in the back burner? I mean, also looking at the brand new PlayStation Plus, the revamp of it that just launched, the Infamous games are currently available. If you have your premium tier and you want to play back some of the classic games, you can do the Infamous games, but you can't, however, kind of interesting, you can't touch the Sly Cooper games. Not quite sure the reasoning behind it, because these were previously available on the PlayStation Now, but it is not available currently with the new PlayStation Plus, at least for the US. I mean, I swear I just checked it and it was definitely not on there, unless I missed it, but I'm more than positive it's not on there. And so it does have me thinking like, are they planning to do like maybe like another collection of sorts, another remastered 4K collection, 60 FPS or something? Like, could we be seeing something like that for at least Sly Cooper? I can kind of, be okay a little bit with Infamous. At least we have the ability to go back and play the older ones if we wanted to. But Sly Cooper, again, is one where it's not currently available, at least on PlayStation 5 that I saw. So if it's not a part of the new PS Plus collection, or the PS Plus, the premium collection games for the classics, how else are we gonna be able to play these games? So definitely, again, just more just to talk about in terms of like, man, I wonder what they're going to be doing, and I think I want to go back to the fact that, Ghost of Tsushima was successful, right? It makes sense that they're working on a sequel. Even their multiplayer component, like that, from what I remember, like a lot of people enjoyed it. Maybe it didn't get a lot of like, a lot of returning players. I'm not sure how many people are still even playing Legends, Ghost of Tsushima Legends. I definitely played it. I gave it a shot. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but I'm definitely not someone who stuck with it, right? It lasted for maybe about a month until we moved on to the next, which is, going to be an issue with some of these like multiplayer components of games. But it seems like, maybe they want to do Ghost of Tsushima 2 with a bigger component for their multiplayer. I mean, we know PlayStation's current strategy right now, right, is actually they do want to go pretty heavy with these multiplayer games. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Ghost of Tsushima 2, right, is one of the projects they're working on, and then maybe a bigger component of Legends. Maybe this is maybe this is like Ghost of Tsushima Legends 2, or maybe they're just going to take that multiplayer and just kind of expand into a whole new project. We already know, The Last of Us is getting their own like bigger multiplayer project as well that they announced at Summer Game Fest. So I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts down below? I mean, I forgot to mention too, there's also, I think, supposed to be a Ghost of Tsushima movie. And so, that's also another thing with PlayStation, right? Is it's kind of like, oh, what can we turn into a movie? So that's also like the other question or the other thought process to go behind it. So I guess I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Again, as this is a topic where a lot of people were like, oh no, like not my Sly Cooper, at the very least Sly Cooper. Some people feel indifferent about Infamous, but either way, Infamous, Sly Cooper, no games currently in the pipeline, it seems like. And if anything, and the games that are currently in development are games that we might not be seeing for like another year or two. Like we might really not be seeing another Infamous or Sly Cooper game for maybe like 5 years, if I'm being honest. I mean, maybe even more. Who knows? So I would love to see your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Yeah, that's it. I'm Jared with 59 Direct, and we will see you guys in the next one.